What's up, everybody? Welcome to Narco Cop MMA. I'm your host, Mike, and this is the Lambo Plays podcast, episode 76, UFC 295. We do have a very special guest this week. I can't wait to introduce him to you guys. But before we go on to introduce my guest, I do want to ask you about my little layout here. I changed it up. 2 new posters, 2 new, my signs right behind me now. Let me know if it's better than before, if it's worse. I always want to hear from my community here. So I love each and every one of you in here, 50 of you already in here. Appreciate you guys. With that being said, let me shout out my chat here. First off, EQ, look at this guy. See, that's why I love my chat. He's not placing a single bet until after this stream. You are my man. Appreciate you. Thank you very much. Mushroom is in the house. One more sleep for MSG. I think you're going to be there, right, Mushroom? Have fun while you're out there. Louis Adame, let's get that money, my friend. I appreciate you as well. Declan Brady says, checking in early. Looking forward to these weekly predictions and the live spaces. Unreal work this year. Thank you, my man. Appreciate you as well. Darren, Tom round 2. We'll talk about that in a bit. Justin Sox Fox says, Lambo time, Pereira, second round, Aspinall. We will talk about all those things. Who else do we got here? Bailey says, what up, goats? What is up, my friend? G, hope Narco is on here alone. Don't want to hear. Yeah, you do. You want to hear my guest. I'm telling you, G, you really want to hear my guest. Germ 23, Lambo Plays. Yes, my man. Thank you. Propaholic in the house. This is going to be good. Yes, sir. It's always good in here. So I love it. Justin says, glad it's at 7 Central. I get to watch it live for a change. Appreciate you, my man. Thank you for stopping in. There will be blood. Thank you. Let's fucking go as well. We have Glenbot in the house. What is up, my friend? Who else do we got here? Lando says UFC best bet Pavlovich. We will see about that. St. Stephen, what is up, my man? Thank you for joining as well. Joshua, my man. Joshua Frick, thank you very much. Sent me 6 to 7 cookies this week, fresh cookies from his company. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Shout out to you, my man. Das Files, always in the house. Lambo time, my friend. Thank you. Bufu on the beat. What is up, my friend? Dixon in the house. Mr. Chico, Mr. Jingles, back to back. Phenom, what is up? Let's hit some Lambos tomorrow. I have a great feeling about this card, honestly, guys. And I normally don't say it, right? You guys are always here. I have a great feeling about this card. Axis says, look at the seasoned beard. Yeah, man, I got a wedding. So I got a wedding tomorrow. So I got to get all freshened up. Hit those likes like Eric Albright say, thank you for joining. Leon Edwards, what is up, my brother? Thank you for joining. Kristen in the house. How you doing? Thank you for joining as well. Who else do we have here? Cheeky Elbow. Thank you, my man. Thank you for the nice compliment. Wiz, my man Wiz, also in the house. I can keep on going forever here. AB's in the house. Victor, D. Jesus, Darren, what is done? I've done zero research on the prelims and early prelims. This is the right place. We got it for you, my man. I did all the research for you. So, Aussie Fight Fan, what is up, my friend? Prince of Mischief, Rem Dog, Mike Sloman. And with that being said, let me, who can guess my special guest, by the way? Can anybody guess who this special guest is going to be? I didn't see any guesses, but I don't think anybody can guess this guy. This guy's coming from literally left field. I'm bringing him from left field. And with that being said, we can't prolong it anymore. Here is my special guest. My co-host, Timothy Troiano, is back. What is up, my man? How you doing? Hope everything is going fine. Look at this guy. He's like nice and shaved. He's ready to go. He's got the Steeler outfit on. How you doing, man? Are you ready for this card this week? UFC 295.
I am so excited to be back with you, brother. I'm so excited to be back to break down these fights, get some fucking money. Yeah, just for anybody, there's been a bunch of people who DMing me in Twitter, and I've been really sick. I'm over it, but I had COVID for like 2 weeks and had a 101 to 102.7 fever, and it was hell on wheels. So I appreciate everybody, their concern, and I'm so excited to be back with you.
All right, guys, we got Tim all tuned up. He's ready to go. He's taken a lot of weeks off. If he doesn't give you guys a minimum of 3 to 4 winners, Lambo winners, he's off the show. He's done. We're kicking him out next week. He's completely done. He can't just come back with 1 or 2 winners. That's just not right. He needs to give you 3 or 4 this week, and then he gets to stay on the show next week and going forward. With that being said, Tim, let's start out with the first fight of the night because we got 13 of them, and it is in the featherweight division. It is the 11-3 Denis Bazooka versus the 19-7 Jamal Emers. And I will kick this one off to you. Start it off here. It's a catchweight bout now that Emers has missed weight at 147. What do you like here as far as a nice Lambo prop?
So I think that there's a chance. I mean, Bazooka to me is a fighter that I like to bet against. I don't think that I think that Emers' biggest weakness is his fight IQ. And I feel like in a situation like it's kind of like Loopy Godinez fight. It's like when a fighter's fight IQ is their worst attribute, then you have to have like something that you can do that's better, and they need to make the mistake, and then you have the edge. I think Emers has him pretty much covered everywhere here. I think he has him covered on the ground. I think he has him covered on the feet. I think he's just a better fighter in general. I'm not too high on Denis. So, I mean, this is one of those where I lean like the pick would be like Emers by decision, but it's not a Lambo. So we're going for, I hope that Emers tries to cook him. I want to ask you this. I know I was on this prop on Woodson versus Bazooka. Were you also on Woodson sub against Bazooka?
I don't remember, quite honestly. I
really think we both were. Because we both had like the tall man and he goes for Gillies and we thought he might hurt him. So I look at like the 2 late round props and especially like the submission prop for Emers. Like if he gets him down on the ground, I like 8-1 on by sub, and then sub 2-3 is like 28-1 and 42-1. You don't want to get greedy and you just do. He could KO him, but I don't think it's that way. But 2-3 is 10-1, 16-1. I like the sub and the sub 2-3, like the 8-1 and the 28-1, 42-1, starting off big.
Yeah, so I did a lot of research on the fight. I got a pretty big bet on Emers at like -230, I believe, in that range. And the line has subsequently ballooned a little bit here. We're looking at, what are we looking at here? Let's look at the odds here and
70, I think.
Yeah, no, he's about 250 to 275 range. Yeah, so it's gone up a little bit. Actually, there's some buyback I'm looking at here, down to 238 on PointsBet. But okay, the thing is, like, here's the thing. I've watched Denis Bazooka a lot, whether it be in the regional scene, whether it be Contender Series, and his first UFC fight. At no point in all of his fights leading up to his UFC fight did I ever think this guy is UFC level. And after watching him against Sean Woodson, honestly, it kind of confirmed that this guy's not UFC level, right? The reasoning is Sean Woodson is a tall, lengthy boxer, right? He's got good boxing. I'll give him that. He's a tall guy. But Sean Woodson shouldn't out-grapple you and take you down 4 times, right? I mean, that's honestly, it's kind of embarrassing to see Sean Woodson, take this guy that's from a grappling gym, right? Remember, Sierra Longo's, that's all killers, all grapplers, right? This guy is like the guy that's not part of the group or something, because when you watch this guy, he's getting out grappled in almost all of his fights. And then you bring a guy like Sean Woodson, and then this guy all of a sudden becomes like this fucking Khabib type of wrestler against you, 4 takedowns. Kind of embarrassing, to be honest. Prior to that, I got a stat for you, Tim. Prior to that, Sean Woodson, right, has 7 UFC fights. Take a wild guess how many takedowns he has.
0.
Zilch. He's got 0 takedowns, buddy. And now all of a sudden he takes this guy down 4 times. Okay, it's short notice. Okay, all these other, excuses that people want to give. But it's quite embarrassing to get taken down that many times, honestly, by Woodson. The other part is, like, you're facing Jamal Emers. He's not a Sean Woodson type of wrestler. This guy is a very, very high-level wrestler with very good jiu-jitsu, very good striking. And then when you look back, it's like Emers, who has he lost to? He's lost to really good guys. And quite honestly, he got probably robbed. And like, I rewatched Jenkins. There's no way he lost the Jenkins fight. I don't think he lost that fight. It was 2-1 Emers. And somehow one of the judges had a 30-27, I believe, for Jenkins, which is fucking crazy. Either way, Jamal Emers is a very good fighter. You know, he made a mistake against Sabatini. He got heel hooked. The thing is, I don't care what mistakes he makes against Bazooka. He's going to take advantage of what? I don't know what. He can't grapple. He's not a great striker. Where does he take advantage of anything, any mistakes that Emers makes, you know? And quite honestly, I think Emers can do anything he wants to this guy. It could be a knockout. It could be a submission. I'm going to play the sub for the simple reason that when I watch Emers and his regional tape, he's got regional tape, right? His regional tape shows he grapples a lot. And usually it's round 2, round 3. He doesn't grapple early. For whatever reason, he strikes early. And as the fight goes on, he starts grappling. Maybe it's a gas tank thing, whatever it may be. He has a good gas tank either way. But I think he's going to grapple here later. He got 5 takedowns against Vince Cachero. He got a couple of them when he wanted to go for him against Giga. But I think he goes for him a little later here when this guy's a little more tired. He's going to get him down. He's the much better wrestler and grappler, in my opinion. And like I said, when you watch his regional tape, he goes for submissions quite often, man.
He fucking went for one again. He went for a heel hook versus that's what tore. Yeah, I mean, he's doing that.
Completely stupid.
That proves our point, though, right? Like he's not willing. He's not like running off the ground with a dude that's really good at jiu-jitsu. He's like, yeah, I can hang with this guy. He actually thinks he can roll. You know, which is in this fight.
He subbed a very good fighter that people don't know about, and to me, this guy's a very good fighter. It's Rafael Barbosa. That guy's a really good fighter, and he subbed him, and he's a good grappler. So the thing to say all of this, you know, I'm going on forever, but I like submission at plus 800. But I think if it happens, it's probably when he cooks him, like you said, round 2, round 3. I think he has the better cardio. We saw this guy Bazooka against this guy Romero, who's very, very green, guys, in MMA. He's a wrestler. He's a wrestling background. And not very high level, but he came in there and grappled. That's all he did, one-dimensional. Kept the fight kind of close on Contender Series. That guy was dead in round 3. Bazooka couldn't finish and almost fucking got submitted there by a banana split. It was hilarious, dude. So yeah, I mean, I really like Emers' side. There's nothing to say outside of that. I think this is definitely a sub potential. Probably a little bit later. And somebody said it here. Only reason Bazooka's in the UFC. I promise. I think that is the absolute only reason they gave him that short notice against Woodson. Now they're going to get him cooked against Emers, in my opinion. So Emers is a very good fighter, man. Yeah, fight IQ, you know, a little bit shaky, but I don't think it's going to matter against a guy like Bazooka. It's not like he can make a mistake and Bazooka can capitalize, to be honest. So we'll move on here. Submission plus 800 for me on Emers. Fight number 2. It isn't a flyweight division. It is the 8-1 Joshua Van versus the 9-1 Kevin Borjas. I really like this fight, Tim. I think this is going to be a very, very competitive fight, in my opinion. I was very low on Borjas coming into the Contender Series. Not, you know, there is some tape, mostly regional tape. It was okay, but it was against very low-level fighters. So I'm like, you know, how can I judge this guy? He's coming in fighting Victor Diaz, who's a ATT guy, good, very, very good grappler, black belt in jiu-jitsu. I'm like, you know what? This guy's probably going to get subbed, right? Man, he got taken down, tough as nails, gets back up, works the body. I mean, he digs a nasty left hook to the body. This guy has a left hook from hell when he digs the body, man. And he absolutely, talking about cooking, Tim, he absolutely cooked that guy, Victor Diaz, man. He was toast in round 3. He almost finished him. Didn't quite finish him there, but now he's facing a guy that, for me, I love Joshua Van. I'm a big fan of his. I bet him last time out. I bet him by decision at plus 450. Hit a big price tag on him. So I love the guy, right? I know him from Fury. I'm a regional guy. I love my regionals. I know him from Fury very, very well. Very, very young guy, extremely good boxer, extremely athletic. His wrestling is starting to get a lot better. But this is probably a 15-minute stand-up fight, right? That's just what both guys do. That's just both guys know what to do, in the stand-up. Both guys have extremely good jabs. Joshua Van is the much cleaner striker. But I think the power, honestly, from Borjas is a little different, man. He hits very hard. He drops almost everybody, even in his loss. His loss to that guy, he dropped him in round 1 and just completely emptied the tank to finish the guy on the ground. Couldn't finish him. The guy survived. And then in round 2, gets caught with the head kick, gets dropped, and then he gets finished. This guy has a very good chin, bro. Like, I'm watching some of these guys hit him. He takes punches really well. I mean, it was a head kick. Not a lot of people are going to take head kicks, right? I feel like these guys go back and forth. I think it's a very close fight. I'm going to stab at the Borjas decision. It's plus. You can get 430 on FanDuel. You can get 550 if you have Betway. I think it's a close fight. Split is something to look at, honestly. I think both these guys are good. Both these guys are young. And both these guys are improving for sure. So, yeah, I mean, if you want to play Joshua Van decision, I don't blame you, honestly. Yeah, Phenom, I don't blame you, honestly. I think it's a close fight. If you think Joshua Van pulls away, then yeah, Joshua Van decision is good as well.
At 400, that's great. I don't know what wrestling is getting 400.
I think this is a close competitive fight. What do you have here, Tim?
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I think that this fight is a close fight. I think one, you're going to have more of a technical striker that's going to have a little bit more volume and kind of the optics on his side by moving forward, a little bit more technical in Van. And I think, like you said, Borjas has the power, the moments that he can kind of win rounds there. I think I was thinking like, I thought that Van might have some sub potential because I think Borjas is really, really tough. And I think, but I don't think I agree with you. I don't see him like proactively grappling unless something's going wrong on the feet. I think it's going to be like his plan B attack. But I think if all goes right for Van and he's not uncomfortable on the feet with him, that this is like you said, 15 minutes of standing. And you hit it. You said it in the middle of your take. I think end split here is absurd at plus 600. I mean, that's an absurd line. Like you get two guys that are both lined as their shortest lines are, I mean, the KO and the decision are like 50-50 for Van, and the shortest line for Borjas is the decision. So they're assuming that it's going to go to decision, and they're hanging 6-1 on split. Like Van is like a minus 500. Just doesn't make any sense to me. So I like end split. And if you're on your side on Borjas, he's 14-1 for split. I really don't know. I would lean Van wins a decision, but I think when you get, those type of lines, you might want to take a small stab at the 6-1 and then the 14-1 if you think he's got a shot.
Yeah. I mean, listen, his last fight against Zagas, when Zagas is a seasoned veteran, he went to split, right? It's something about, honestly, these Peruvian guys, man. I don't know what the heck is in that water over there, but all of these fuckers are so tough, man. They're tough. They come forward. They all have power. They're resilient. And it's, for a 22-year-old, Joshua Van is still very young, He could probably throw the kitchen sink at this guy, not get him out of there. And this guy is coming forward, chucking bombs against them. It might be heart-wrenching for him. It's like, what the heck is going on with this guy? Even though I love Joshua, I think he's a great prospect, honestly. If you told me between these two who the better prospect is, I would definitely go with Joshua Van. I think he has the way higher ceiling. But it's something about Borjas, like, dude, he's so tough. Honestly, both guys have an extremely good jab. So does Van. But I think Borjas's jab is extremely powerful, guys. I'm telling you, that jab is very, very powerful. I think Diaz's eye was this big because of the jab, man. His jab, he throws it with mean intentions, man, that jab. So, yeah, we're both on the same side here, about split decision, whatever. I honestly think this fight probably hits the scorecards. and there might be some hairy moments, but yeah, eventually might hit the scorecards. Fight number 3, Tim, in the bantamweight division. It is the 19-9 Kang Ho Kang versus the 20-6 John Castaneda. I do want to point out this fight is going to be fought at a catchweight of 138, and I heard that it was John Castaneda who asked for the catchweight. That's just a little tidbit of what I heard. But with that being said, what do you have for your Lambo play here?
Going back to the well on the end split here, I think that you just watch these guys fight, and I think the finish, I think the early, I think Kang has like an advantage or maybe a slight advantage earlier in the fight. And as the fight gets going through the second round, midway through the second round, I think you're going to start to see Castaneda start to take over. Both of these guys fight extremely close. 30% of Castaneda's fights have ended in split, or his decisions have ended in split, and 40% of Kang's have his decisions have ended in split. So to me, it's just like they're hanging the plus 400 on it. It should probably be plus 350 or 300 again. Don't hate those. I'm not going to pick a side because it's better to just do the lines aren't good on the individual ones. It's not as good as just hitting the one. So yeah, I just think it's a close fight. I think that if there's a finish, I kind of think like early it might be a KO for Kang, and later on it might be a KO for Sexy Mexi. But I really do think the fight eventually, I think these guys can both do fuck all and like do nothing for minutes at a time also. So they might have moments where they go into the pocket and exchange and it gets a little bit hairy, but I think they're both going to take time to get themselves together too and kind of look at each other and check each other out. Kang's got a karate style. He's going to try to get in and out. Doesn't, necessarily want to go bombs. So I like end split plus 400 here. How about you?
Yeah. I also think this fight goes to decision. I'm just going to pick a side here because I do have a bet on it. So I'm going to give it out. I think Kang Ho Kang plus 235. Solid striker, man. Solid grappler. Just an overall very, very solid game. I also think the same thing about John. I don't think he's bad at all. I think he's a very good fighter, good striker, good grappling. But I do kind of lean the Kang Ho Kang side because, even though this guy's been to many split decisions, when you watch him against a striker in Batkaral, who's a really good striker, I mean, the guy has a very good boxing game. And I mean, he was piecing him up, man. It's just so smooth in the striking, yeah. And most of the times when, he's going to split or he's losing, it's because of the grappling. Some guys get him down, he loses a round. Now, it's not to say that John Castaneda cannot take him down. He possibly can. But first and foremost, he is a striker as well. Like John Castaneda mostly strikes in his fights. I know he has like a high school wrestling background, but the guy is primarily, mostly striking there. He tit for tat against people. And I just think the cleaner striker here is Kang Ho Kang, man. And what caught my eye a little bit, and I'm going to give the King decision as my official Lambo play. It's not a Lambo. It's a used Toyota or whatever. It's plus 235 on BetOnline. What I will say is it's extremely awkward to me to see Castaneda KO at plus 440, yet Kang Ho Kang's KO is 1,100. Like, okay, I know what they're looking at, and they're looking at Kang Ho Kang has only 2 knockout wins in his career, right? Fine. Sexy Mexi has more knockouts. It's 7. But, man, Kang drops almost everybody or hurts almost everybody in his fight. He hits very hard. Like, the last fight, he got a submission, but he was, like, this close to getting a knockout, right? The guy was out almost, Quinones. So, both guys seem to be very, very durable. I will say that. Yeah. Oh, that's the other thing I want to mention about the knockout props, right? One is 4 something. The other guy's 1,100. But the difference between also the two is that what's his name's been knocked out twice, and Kang Ho Kang has only been knocked out once, and they have almost the same number of fights. So both guys are durable. Don't get me wrong. I do think this fight goes to the decision. I just don't think the KO line should be lined like that. One guy should not be 1,100 and the other guy 440 because one guy has 2 knockouts, the other guy has 7. But watch their fights. Kang hits very damn hard. He hurts a lot of people. So I just want to say that doesn't mean it's my play. My play is decision. I think this fight goes to decision. It's plus 235, Kang. Moving on.
Hey, just quick. Mushroom was asking if FanDuel does splits. They don't.
No splits. No splits.
DK.
No splits. Yeah, no splits at all on there. What else do we have here? I have to work super early. Offer split, decision split. Let's fucking go. King round 3 or decision. Round 3, I kind of lean Castaneda, to be honest. I think he might have a little better cardio. Even though both guys are fine, I think Castaneda a little bit better cardio. Moving on, fight number 4 is in the lightweight division. It is the 19-6 Jared Gordon versus the 12-1 Mark Madsen. And I will go on this one. I'm all over Jared Gordon, guys. Jared Gordon. Mark Madsen, very good Olympic wrestler, Greco-Roman, whatever the hell he was. But not very good in the UFC, to be honest. Left fight ready, big negative. He's training somewhere in Denmark or wherever. I don't even know where the hell he's training. I don't see any high-level guys with him. He got ragdolled against Grant Dawson in the wrestling last time out. Got his back taken multiple times. We know all about all that. He went to split against Clay Guida, guys. And it was a striking affair. Is that not a red flag? I think it is. And now he faces a guy in Jared Gordon who, when you watch part of that round 1, and it was 4 minutes of round 1, he was honestly winning the striking against Bobby Green. He was winning the striking. I mean, you can't deny it. Watching that fight, he was winning the striking at that point before the headbutt. Paddy Pimblett fight. Did he get robbed? I think so. But it's Paddy Pimblett, and he won. This guy, he's a very good grappler. He has good jiu-jitsu, to be honest. Even though when you look at his record, right, he only has 2 subs in, 25 fights? He's got good jiu-jitsu. He's a good grappler. He's a pretty good striker if you're out striking Bobby Green. And now you're facing a guy who has pretty poor striking. He has got power, but that's it. His wrestling is subpar for UFC MMA levels. His cardio is a big question mark when it comes to round 3. Meanwhile, Jared Gordon is pretty much animal for 3 rounds. It's in New York. I think Jared Gordon wants to have a finish here. Give me round 2, round 3, Tim. It's 1,000 and 1,400. I already had that bet. I'm just very tempted to kind of sprinkle a little bit of the sub 2-3, man, because I think he's the better submission grappler between these 2 guys. And if he actually cooks this guy might shoot for a stupid takedown, get taken down himself or reversed and fucking get subbed. So I like 2-3, but man, I might sprinkle. I haven't done it yet, but I might sprinkle 2-3 submission here also on Jared Gordon. Let's see the prices actually. Yeah, I mean, look at this. 3,000 and 3,800. I mean, it's catching my eye. Even though Jared Gordon, I look at his UFC and he doesn't really go for subs. I just feel like this spot, it might be there for him. He might be able to cook this guy. This guy's going to try to grapple when he's cooked, and he's going to get subbed. So we'll see. I like the 2-3 regardless, but yeah, what do you have here?
Great breakdown. Yeah, man, I agree with everything you said. I'm not going to be the echo chamber here. I'm on 2-3 as well. The only thing I disagree with is I kind of think it'd be more like the Dalby fight where he cooks him on the feet, that he's not able to get the takedowns and he's just fucked. And then he's like, he might shoot a bad takedown, but I think he might be reversed and get on top and then just start elbowing him and things like that. So I think it's actually the lines. It's funny as hell. Like the lines on DK and FanDuel are totally flipped on his KO and his sub. Like they got 800 to 500 and you got the other way around on DK. So it's to me, you could basically play both of the round props or the 2-3 and then play whichever one you want, or even both, and sprinkle them and have a chance on really, really high lines on both. Because they're assuming he's been a decision hitter. Add to the fact that he's 11-1. Gordon's 11-1 in decisions, and the only loss is the fuckery to Patty. So to me, that's like, this guy is a great, if it goes to decision, I just see him winning a decent amount. I actually think it's probably going to be a decision, but the lines are just too fucking good to not take a shot on him. So I'm with you.
Well, that's the whole point. Like, if you ask me what's the most likely outcome, yeah, it's not 2-3. Of course not. I do think he probably wins a decision. But the extent of the cardio between these two guys, the actual gap, is pretty damn large for me. So if you're going to give me 1,400 on round 3 or 1,000 on round 2, I'm going to take it, because I'm pretty sure that Gordon has the much better cardio here. And if anybody gets cooked, it's probably Mark Madsen. And let's not forget, the guy's 39 years old. He's not a spring chicken. He's 39 years old. He's older. And, actually might get cooked here. Let's move on here. Fight number 5, right? Are we 5? Yep. It is in the lightweight division again, Tim. We are going back to the well with the 9-1 Nazim Sadikov versus the 7-3 Vyacheslav Borchev. What do you have here for your Lambo plate?
This one is really tough for me, man. I've been back and forth, so I'm going to be really interested to hear what you got to say on this one. The reason why is because...
Wait, sorry to interrupt you. Look at this. I didn't even know this. Did you know this?
No, I heard that he had some issues with his family, and that's why he had to do it. I didn't know why. Yeah, well, that's normal.
That's tough, man. All right, go ahead.
So yeah, I think my confusion in this one, where it's not quite as clear as what I think is going to happen. I'm clear on, like, I think two things could clearly happen in my mind in this fight. Like, if you're giving me an OV at the end of the name versus Slava, typically it's like, dude, I mean, Slava's weakness is like 14-year-old, not like cheerleaders could probably take him down at least once in a fight if he doesn't kick him in the head first. So I just think that the takedown defense, as Sean Orr says, he's got no ass, so he's got no hips to defend it. The get-ups on Slava are good. He tries to work to get up. So if you have like a good top game, or if you have good control, then he's fucked. But if you don't, that's how he wins. It's also like, it's similar to Armin Petrosian. It's like he lets you tire yourself out. He gets up and then lets you take him down, the tires out, and he gets these KO2s, KO3s. So I think on the Slava side, it's like KO2, KO3 for me, which are 850 and 1400. But there's just no way that I can confidently like bet him or bet his money line and be like, no, dude, it's like 2 takedowns, 3 takedowns, or whatever. It's just like he can be so controlled. And if Sadikov, who I don't have a lot of confidence in, like not from a fight IQ standpoint, but from like an ego standpoint, he seems like a dude that wants to like whip out the dick and let's see, like pissing contests and let's see who can do this. I think if he does that against Slava, he's going to get cooked. I think the striking gap is way bigger than the grappling gap. And I think the grappling gap is big. I just think it's like Sadikov's going to need to have not only takedowns, but have the jits to control him on the ground, which he hasn't shown. But I do think I don't think it's hard to do. I don't think it's like that hard to take him down. I don't think it's also hard if he gets up. It's a question of the cardio on Sadikov to me, which I'm not super clear on. So, if Sadikov has the cardio, if Sadikov has ability to chain some takedowns after he gets up, I think that decision on Sadikov at plus 350 is good. And I like the KO2, KO3 for Slava.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so torn on this fight. I wanted to play Slava because, well, first thing is, I hear a lot of people saying, oh, this guy's going to grapple. Sadikov's going to grapple. He's at Sierra Longo, blah, blah, blah. He knows he needs to grapple. Well, there's nothing on the tape to suggest that this guy's going to grapple Nazim. There really isn't. I mean, there's nothing on tape to show me this guy's going to go and just try to grapple guys. Like, you're looking at, the rear naked choke against John Herrera. It's John Herrera that's actually initiating the grappling the whole time. Like, he's not grappling Sadikov. He's defending takedowns. He kind of reverted. This guy went for a takedown, took his back, and I think he choked him out. Terrence McKinney fight, right? Tarek McKinney's death gassed. I think he shot for a takedown. He stuffed it and kind of got his arm caught and took his back and choked him out. I don't know if he's going to proactively grapple, dude. And if he does, and it's possible, let's say it's possible, Borchev is pretty easy to take down. But listen, Mike Davis took him down a bunch of times. Mike Davis is a high-level college wrestler, very good wrestler, very, very good jiu-jitsu and grappler. Nazim isn't any of those. And Slava got up multiple times. It's not like he laid there on his back. He got up most of the times that he got taken down in a fight up until the end. The absolute last takedown, I think he was on his back for a good 2 minutes. But before that, he got up there was like 11 takedowns. The thing is, Mike Davis actually has a wrestling background. He's a wrestler. This Nazim guy, when you watch his tape, all he does is strike. He's a striker. So it's like, what happens, let's say, if this guy starts shooting shot after shot after maybe he gasses out. Like, he's never implemented that style. And it's like, to guess that he's going to do that, I think I was saying it earlier, like in my disc, it's bad to guess that someone's going to do it when you don't have actual proof that this guy's going to do it. Like, it's already hard to fucking tape a fight as it is and pick a side. Now you're going to have to put a guessing game and say, oh, well, he's saying this, he's saying that. Oh, he's going to grapple. Like, but we don't see it. We don't see it on tape. So with that being said, like, I still think both guys are actually very tough, Tim. I think both guys are extremely tough. Nazim has shown he's super tough. Slava has shown he's super tough. He's been hurt multiple times in fights. Comes back and wins in many of them. Doesn't give up. I mean, so many people would have gave up in the Mike Davis fight. He's getting his ass fucking kicked. But, man, he kept coming, and he hurt fucking Davis in round 3. He absolutely gave him a fucking shiner. He hits very hard, and he's a very, very good kickboxer. So I expect this fight to kind of play close. But at the end of the day, I do think maybe, like, because the striking might be pretty close as far as Slava will probably land the better shots, but the volume, I think, probably comes more from Nazim, and he probably has a little bit of clinch in him, right? Clinching against the fence, knees, elbows in the clinch. He might be able to work those kind of things there. So 350 is good by decision on Sakov. I think split decision is good, honestly. I know that's kind of a hot take, to be honest, because a lot of people think this fight ends, right? Because it's minus 180, 190 not to go. So I think split decision is somewhere in the 600 area, if I'm not mistaken. If you can look at it, Tim, if anybody in chat, I think it's 600. I don't mind that either, honestly.
650.
Yeah, Joel makes a good point. Like, Evan Elder was winning 2018.
Yeah, that's why I think go ahead. I'm sorry.
Evan Elder is a grappler at first. He's not a striker, and he was winning the striking 2018.
That's why I think what you were saying. I actually thought you were going to lean towards Slava by points, which is think it's actually might be a good take. If Nazim just is tough as shit, you know what I'm saying? And then, like you're saying, he doesn't necessarily proactively grapple. You're getting a better line on Slava by points. His shortest line is him by KO. So I think I agree with you. I actually might take a stab at the end split and then maybe small stabs on both. But I like the KO 2 for 3 for me comes from a place of I think if Slava's standing with him long enough that he might be able to bonk him. But I don't disagree that Sakov has shown durability, especially even in the Elder fight. But I don't think Elder's like. I think there's planetary differences between Elder striking and Slava.
I also think McKinney cracked him pretty good too. He just, even in one of the regional fights, Contender Series, he got cracked by that what's that guy from Afghanistan, whatever. He cracked him pretty fucking hard in that fight. And he's tough. He's tough. Definitely tough. Not saying he can take Slava shots. The thing is, Slava might cook his body, man.
Totally.
Slava might cook that body. He's a good. He works the body really, really good. So, yeah. I mean, we're both on this decision. I think the fight goes to decision is a sneaky play, honestly, here. I really do. Sean is, I think Mike Davis has a shallow high school wrestling pedigree, no college. All right. Sean is here to correct me. No college for Mike Davis. I take it back, but I won't take back the fact that Mike Davis is definitely a better grappler for sure. With that being said, let's move on. Fight number 6. It is in the lightweight division. It is the 18-1 Matthias Rebecki versus the 12-3 Roosevelt Roberts. Again, Roosevelt Roberts missed weight. I like Rebecki here by sub, man. It's 290. It's 290. I was kind of surprised when it opened. I'm like, wow, 290 by submission? I get it. You know, this guy loves the ground and pound. You know, he does. He loves the crucifix. I kind of feel like Roosevelt Roberts, you know, a guy that, you know, is pretty fucking tough, honestly. He's not easy to get out of there. He takes a lot of punishment. But I think he might be their pad on the ground, you know. And I do think this fight hits the ground. And I do think the much, much better grappler between these two guys is Matthias Rebecki. So it could be ground and pound. Don't get me wrong. I went with the bigger price. It's 290. I think if it happens, probably 2-3. This is a very, very short notice fight for Roberts. We know he's at a huge deficit in the grappling realm. Matthias Rebecki is an extremely good grappler. Very, very heavy on top. Very good ground and pound. Hopefully it's submission and not KO, but it could be either or. I'm going to go with submission 290. Sub 2-3 plus 700, if I may interest you. Tim, what do you have?
Yeah, I won't waste too much time on this. This is a fucking mismatch. I think Roberts is dead. Lamb to the slaughter here. Rebecki round 2 plus 380 plus 650 for round 3. It's his pick is poison. Be shot. I mean, obviously this has like GTD burn pain on you written on it a little bit, but I do think that he finishes him. I don't even really want to pick the sub or the KO. I just two or three. He's going to get him down when he wants. He could probably take him down with one leg. So yeah, I think Rebecki late round props are good.
Yeah. Joel, I know he's twice his size, but I mean, that just makes it easier for it to get to his hips and just get him down.
The problem too, with Roosevelt is he's like a classic guillotine takedown defense dude. Like he throws like it's not like, could it work? For sure, yes. But I'm like, that's his.
He's long. He's long. Could he land the knee? What's the chances though? Landing a knee KO is probably under 1%. Honestly, it's probably under. I mean, it's a very, very low outcome type of fight ending sequence. So I don't see it. I mean, it's possible, but man, Matthias Rebecki is very, very dangerous if he's on top of you. Moving on, fight number 7. It is in the strawweight division. It is the 9-1 Tabitha Ricci versus the 11-3 Lupita Godonez. What do you have here, Tim?
Oh, this is my chick. This is the Jergens lotion fight of the night here. Yeah, man, I just think the simps are out for Ricci. They've been betting, obviously. Line has gone to Lupi pretty hard from the beginning of the week. A lot of money has come in on her. The pick would be Lupi by points. It's way too short. So let's go back to that classic passion of betting, some money. I really don't think that this is going to finish. So I'm saying that ahead of time. I think that Lupi's going to win a decision. But if somebody is going to finish, I think Lupi's got her covered everywhere. And like I said in the Emers fight, Lupi's name is Lupi. So she's like, her nickname's Lupi because she's fucking Lupi and she doesn't shoot takedowns against Angela Hill and loses as a minus 350 to 400 favorite because she does have fight IQ issues in fights. But I think, again, it doesn't matter if you're better than the person everywhere. They have to have something that they can exploit when you fuck up mentally. So I think she's better standing by a decent amount, throws harder, way more technical, way more defensively responsible, better movement, her wrestling and takedown ability and takedown defense is way levels better. You're going to get judo throws and trips. I don't think she's going to get chances to get them for Ricci. So, yeah, man, I've seen Ricci get subbed by scrubs in jiu-jitsu competitions, get armbarred, get caught multiple times. Wouldn't be shocked if Loopy could get her down, get her back, maybe take a rear naked choke or something like that, get some ground and pound. Sub for Loopy's plus 1,000. I think it is going to be GTD. I think it is going to be points, but you're hanging 10-1 on a fighter that's got better wrestling, better top time, good ground and pound. Ricci could just not want her elbowing her in the face from a top position, give up her back, and then the choke is there. So I'll take a small stab at the sub 10-1.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all over Godonias here. I really like her in this spot. When you watch back the tape, it's like, how could you not be? Like, Godonias is striking. Man, I went like, when I watched the tape, I went from like previous fights up until her latest one, and her fucking striking is so much better, man. Her 1-2 is right up the middle. Extremely powerful, by the way. Like, she has power in her hands, man. Like, she hurt Angela Hill pretty fucking bad. She hurt I was so mad too, because I had Godonias by KO, and I clearly remember it. Elise Reed up against the fence, hurt like hell, lands like fucking 3 or 4 punches. Elise Reed is bouncing everywhere. I'm like, oh, she's gonna knock her out. She's done. And then she shoots for a double leg at the fence, and I'm like, no.
Loopy being loopy.
Yeah, I'm like, no, the knockout was there. Why'd you do this to me? It was brutal, dude. I'm like, no, she literally was gonna stop her with punches there. And I do think she hits very hard, honestly, for WMMA, 115 pound, even though, knockouts are very hard at this point in women's MMA. 115 strawweight, it's just hard. You don't see too many knockouts. It's mostly ground and pound if it happens. And again, I think that's possible here because I do think she's the much better wrestler of the two. She's not the better jiu-jitsu grappler, I would say, but she's the better wrestler. But man, on the feet, man, like one thing that stuck out to me, Tim, and it's big. I love to watch the striking. When Ricci comes into range, when she's coming into range to throw punches, she's literally bouncing in, hands down, head first. I swear to God, every single time. That's how she came in, and she got caught by Jillian Robertson doing that shit in that last fight. And Jillian Robertson is atrocious when it comes to striking. She's not a good striker. She busted up her nose pretty freaking bad. I think it was round 3. Her nose was bleeding all over the place. Why can't Loopy hurt her? Why can't Loopy get on top, ground and pound? It's possible. The line is, I wanted it to be more, and I thought it would be more. It's only plus 800 for the KO. I really thought it was going to be in the thousands, right? But it's not. And I'm telling you guys right now, a Godonias KO is coming. I don't know when it's going to be. She hurts a lot of her opponents, but she does the loopy things, right? Like you said, she does that. Like, what'd she do to that one chick that everybody was on? The Brazilian girl that's jacked up. What's her name?
Ricci or Loopy?
No, Loopy. Remember, she beat the shit out of her on the ground, but she didn't finish her. What the fuck was her name?
Oh, Carnelossi.
Carnelossi. She beat the living hell out of her on the ground. I mean, that was close to KO 5 different times. You know what I'm saying? It's like she's gonna get the fucking KO. I just don't know when it's gonna be. Might not be this one. Most likely not gonna be this
plus
one.
450 for inside the distance too, so you can cover both of those bases. I think those are great. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean 800. I want Payne some more. I'm gonna probably bet it very small. I wanted a bigger number, to be honest, but yeah, I think that's how I'm gonna go. I don't think it happens. It's probably a decision, like you said, but it's a shot I'm gonna take. Moving on. Fight number 8. It is in the flyweight division. It is the 10-1 Steve Erceg versus the 13-3 Alessandro Costa. I will kick this one off. Again, this is the one I'm kind of torn on, man. I see everybody. I mean, everybody's on Erceg here. Everybody. I don't see many people on fucking Costa at all. And something about this fight, dude, something about this fight, I don't feel comfortable about, honestly. I really don't. I mean, people are watching Alessandro Costa get knocked out by Amir Albazi in round 3. And yeah, I mean, he did get knocked out to Amir Albazi in round 3, but Amir Albazi is possibly a top 15, top 10 flyweight in the world. And to top it off, that fight was 1-1 going into round 3. Like, am I comfortable of playing Erceg against this guy? Minus 200 now? No, I'm not. And to top it off, I think in that fight, if I'm not mistaken, Alessandro Costa took that fight on very short notice. So it's hard for me to like see, like, I get it. Erceg looked really good against Dvorak. Good striking, good grappling, fine. But also in that, don't forget this, in that Dvorak fight, there was very key moments, very small moments that were difference in that fight. So he could have easily lost that fight if he doesn't land a head kick and drops Dvorak, right? Or if he does, you know what I'm saying? It was literally key moments where he won that fight, or he could have lost that fight. It was 1-1 as well. And I think he won 29-28, right? It was close. So I kind of feel like Erceg wins here, a decision. It's only 210. It sucks. I don't honestly, I don't see him stopping Costa. I know Costa got finished by Albazi in round 3. I don't think he has that much power, Erceg, in his hands. I mean, that he hurt him with a kick. I know, you know, he kind of hurt Dvorak later, but he's got one knockout, guys. Like, I really don't think this guy has much power. And I think Costa's pretty durable. I mean, I don't know. I can't tell, to be honest, how durable or not, because he did get knocked out by Albazi, who's a grappler first. So, but again, I think it was short notice. It was 1-1 going into 3. I'm going to go with Erceg because he's the much longer guy. He's got the better boxing. But honestly, if you ask me who has better power, I think it's Costa. I think Costa is probably more live to knock him out than Erceg is, in my opinion. So, yeah, it's plus 210 decision, Erceg. Not much else. I'm not touching this fight. What do you got here, Tim?
Yeah, man, I like it. I have the same one. I got Erceg by points. I said that would be my pick, but you kind of hit the nail on the head on how the fight could go. I think it's just like could be a little closer, and like so end split on again a fight that both fighters props on their decision props are the shortest lines. It's like, what the fuck are we doing here? It's not Erceg's not minus 500, and you're getting a plus 550 on end split. So I think it's good. I mean, like, I think you have, I don't necessarily know that it's like great, but I think that's a good line. I think the Erceg decision, like you're saying, he's got the measurables. I think he's got the edge grappling. I think that Costa can play off of his back a little bit. I don't think Costa's taking Erceg down. Be kind of shocked by that. Both have really good leg kicks. So I just think it could be close. So I'll take a stab on both the Erceg points and the end split at 550.
All right. Don't mind any of those. Let's move on here. Fight number 8, I believe, or 9.
Twitter war.
What is it?
This is the Twitter war fight of the week.
Yeah,
this is one
fight
of
number 9. It's in the featherweight division. It is the 18-4 Pat Sabatini versus the 22-6 Diego Lopes. And you can have, you know what? Can I take this one? Because this is my biggest bet of the card.
Absolutely.
It's my biggest bet of the card, and multiple reasons. I mean, listen, guys. Diego Lopes is everybody's in the MMA community. I'm talking about shiny new toy. It's like that new toy that you get and you're loving it. It's new. Oh, I want to play with it all the time. It's my shiny new toy. It's exactly what Diego Lopes is right now for the MMA community. He got a nice submission, very quick. He almost subbed Evloev. So did Nick Lentz. So did a bunch of other fucking people before that, because Evloev always puts himself in shitty positions on the ground. But it's true. I mean, he looked good in that fight. He almost subbed him, tough as nails. I get it. Guys, I get it. This guy has good jiu-jitsu. But what people are not getting is the fact that Sabatini is also a savage on the ground. Like, This guy's a really good Brazilian jiu-jitsu game. And once he's on top of you, man, this guy's heavy, strong hips. You are not moving this guy once he gets on top. I mean, he is absolutely punishing people on top of him. He's a savage on top. He's really, really good on top. Great jiu-jitsu. Where he lacks is the striking. I don't like his striking. He can get hit. He can get hurt. And if this fight stays standing for a long time, I think that can happen. Diego Lopes can hurt him on the feet. I think he can even knock him out on the feet, honestly. However, Diego Lopes loves playing off his back. So he's fine. When you go to take him down, yeah, he's got okay takedown defense, but he's fine with getting taken down. It's like, okay, now you're in my realm. You're in my jiu-jitsu realm. I'm going to put you in my guard. I'm going to throw up triangles. I'm going to get you with an arm bar. I'm going to get you with something. Well, Pat Sabatini is extremely hard to submit from your guard. It's not. I get that Tucker was a black belt, right? What's his name? The last guy?
Gavin Tucker.
Huh?
Gavin
Tucker. He's a black belt, but he's a Canadian grappler. He's from Canada. He's not Pat Sabatini, bro. This guy's a very, very good grappler. He's from a gym of grapplers. Like that, the guy can grapple his ass off. He competes in grappling. I get it. Lopes has very good jiu-jitsu off his back. He's very dangerous. But this is not Movsar Evloev on top, because Evloev is just a straight wrestler. He doesn't know fucking jiu-jitsu. He doesn't even know what jiu-jitsu is, probably. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay.
Yeah, jiu-jitsu is from Israel.
Yeah, there's a huge difference when you're talking about Sabatini on top and Evloev on top. One guy is very cognizant of defending subs, while the other guy puts themselves into fucking subs. You know what I'm saying? The passing game is better for Sabatini. Even the ground and pound, in my opinion, is better from Sabatini. The one thing that sticks out with Diego Lopes, and I'll tell you this, he got finished against the Russian grappler in the regionals, and he cooked him. He just hit him a couple of times to the body, to the face. He was cooked. Watch the ending, towards the ending of round 2 against Evloev. He almost cooked him, bro. He was this fucking close to stopping him. I swear to God, he looked like he wanted to quit. Lopes did. Then you watch a guy. This is the key part why I love Sabatini in this spot. We go back to the Contender Series and we watch Joe Anderson Brito. And I like Joe Anderson Brito. He has heavy power in his hands. But the guy's not a great grappler, right? He's strong. He might have a good double leg. He's not a great grappler on top. He was fine on top. Yeah, he was in a deep armbar that he got out of. But again, this guy's not anywhere near the grappler that Pat Sabatini is on top. So it's like, to me, we got a guy that can get on top, do a lot of damage on top, in my opinion. A guy that I've seen get cooked on bottom on a couple of times already. He's been getting cooked. And in that fight against Brito, who knows? He could have got cooked. We don't know. I mean, there was a foul that happened, whatever. He could have got cooked later in that fight. I have no idea. And I do know that Sabatini, honestly, he can cook him, bro. This guy has good, decent cardio, very heavy on top, very good ground and pound. I mean, look what he did to that Almeida guy. He absolutely beat the daylights out of that guy from top position. I honestly think he could do the same shit to him. Obviously, this guy is better than Almeida off his back, but he allows people to pass because he's throwing up a bunch of subs. So for me, Tim, I don't think he's going to, that's the thing. I don't think he will sub Lopes. I don't think the sub, to me, I'm completely eliminating the sub, honestly. I don't think he's going to sub this guy because this guy has too much pride in his jiu-jitsu. Everything's about his jiu-jitsu. He's never been subbed. He's not going to be subbed, in my opinion. However, he can be grounded out and pounded out. So, with that being said, Sabatini 2-3.
Okay.
2-3 is 900 and 1600. If you have Hard Rock, it's 1600, by the way. But I am playing 2-3 KO. It's 2400.
Fuck yes.
I'm telling you guys that are watching this, Sabatini is very live to finish Lopes in 2-3. Telling you guys. Now, with that being said, I'll kick it off to Tim.
Great breakdown, brother. I'm with you, man. I think I have two things written down. I have KO 2-3, which is plus 2,400 on FanDuel. Maybe it's 23 now. And then I had Sabatini points at plus 280. Sabatini points for me is like that's a fantastic line. Like 3-1 in a fight where I think it's a major part of his win condition. Could he cook him late? Yeah, I think those are great lines to take. But the only thing I'll add is the reason why Sabatini is so good on top is because of his defensive subs in getting the takedowns is because he doesn't go for like single leg, like double legs. He like cage pushes, he clinches, and then he methodically gets you to the ground. And when he gets you to the ground, he's very quick to get out of guard. Like he's very quick to get to side control, which is what they do where he trains. And he gets to that position. And once you have side control, and it's like the easiest position to hold. So like he just gets into those positions. You're usually on the cage. He usually can use the cage against you. If you get up, he just does the fucking rinse and repeat. It's just over and over and over. It's extremely technical. I don't think his wrestling's great. I think his takedowns are okay, but I think his takedown process is fucking elite. And it's elite for defense. And it's elite for getting to the position that he wants to get to. And then you not having the ability, you can use a cage, but then he's just going to do it again. He's going to cage push you and he's just going to keep doing it. So, yeah, man, I'm with you, man, all day long. KO 2-3, I think he could cook him. I saw the exact same thing that you saw with Lopes on the ground. And if it gets to be an ugly positional thing with him, he could get some serious positions on him. That Evloev is just not looking to get to these positions to finish guys. And like you said, Evloev had chances to finish him in the second round. So to me, it's like you get a guy like Pat that's like just a completely different on the ground than an Evloev. I don't think he's the same wrestler, but I think Lopes is going to be perfectly happy to go to his back. So yeah, man, I'm with you 100%. I love the points. That would probably be my pick is points plus 280, but I'm going to definitely be on the KO 2-3 at plus 2,400.
Zolga Zamagulov lost with that haircut, so it's not 11-0. That's for sure. Yeah, I mean, listen, I get it. You know, Damon Jackson. I mean, it's a minute into the fight. He landed a knee, knocked him out. Okay,
yeah, that's the
I'll tell you what I'm concerned of, though, and I saw it a little bit on Lopez's tape. I'm a little concerned if Lopez gets a takedown and is on top. I'm slightly concerned with that because I do see Lopez actually proactively grappling in a lot of his fights. He does get the fight down, and I have seen Sabatini get taken down. Like I think Damon Jackson actually took him down. I do think what was that Canadian guy that fought him, the little short guy? He had some positions on him as well. TJ Laramie. He had some positions on him as well. So I am afraid a little bit of Lopez being on top. But yeah, I mean, you know, Capping Service says, aren't you afraid? Of course. I said that. Like on the feet, of course I'm afraid that he's going to get. But the thing is, Lopez is so content to be taken down, though. It's like, when you take the guy down, it's like, okay, let me play jujitsu off my back. Like that's just not a good recipe, in my opinion, against Sabatini. Can he hurt him on the feet, knock him out? Yeah. But what's the percentages of, you know, Diego finishing him on the feet? Like let's go through, you know, the percentages, right? Because to you, and I'm asking this for chat and everybody's chat, like who do you guys think is more dangerous on the feet? Diego Lopez or Lucas Almeida? I think it's Lucas Almeida. I think Lucas Almeida hits 5 times harder than Diego Lopez does, right? But, you know, he took him down and he did what he had to do to that guy. You know, and looking at some of these other guys, like, you know, Jamal Emers' fight was kind of stupid. You know, he didn't fight properly in that fight, right? But Diego Lopez, to me, it's like, I get it. Like, he does throw heat. He does have power in his hands. He can. I agree with you. He can knock him out on the feet. But I think this fight the way I play this fight out when I'm watching tape is I see Lopez on his back quite often in this fight.
Yeah, I don't think Lopez is going, like, if you told me the prop to take on Lopes, I'm like, he's my side. It's KO for him. Like, I think his win condition is that he bonks him and gets or like hurts him and doesn't. I don't think he subs him. I mean, I think there's a small chance of sub, but I don't think he does. This needs to be said. Pat's KO loss was actually a sub. So like he got his arm broken and then they called it a TKO. So like that should be said. So he has been armbarred. So I'm not like he's not invincible on the ground. I more think that it's his position and getting to the positions that he'll get that he won't be in the guard. So I think that, but I do think Lopes KO is the way to go if you're on him. I don't think he subs him at a high rate. I don't think that he wins a decision at a high rate. And like the prop for KO, I think that would be the way to go, just from the defense and everything that we said already on Pat.
But I mean, listen, Diego Lopes, we said he has great submissions off his back. But look at his career too. Like there's a lot of guys that are a lot lower level than Sabatini that didn't get subbed by this guy, right? That went 3 rounds and he knocked them out, or it went to decision, or he lost the decision. Whatever it may be. There's a lot of guys that have gotten there. Again, Evloev is probably more live to getting subbed by him than Pat probably is, in my opinion.
For sure.
Because one guy is more cognizant of submissions than the other guy. So, yeah, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm going to eat shit on this one. I got a very big bet on Pat Sabatini. I have 4 units on him. It's my biggest bet of the week. Listen, I like Lopez. I bet him last time, actually. I bet him pretty big against Gavin Tucker. There's a lot of reasons, because I think Gavin Tucker come off 2-year layoff. There was a bunch of shit that were going against Gavin Tucker. And what happens? He comes in, he's dry early, boom, boom, he gets subbed right away. And that's probably, probably because he was out of the cage for so fucking long, right? That doesn't help you. You come in fucking and you have cage jitters again, and it's the first time in 2 years you're fighting. It could happen. You can get caught cold, whether it be a knockout or a submission. So, don't
you think after that fight? Don't you think after that fight that now you're paying the absolute fucking premium for Lopes?
Of course.
Right. That's it. Like he catches him, he catches a black belt, and now you're going against another, and you're in the same situation. You're like, that. It was a great sub. It was a great process to it. He caught him for sure. But yeah, man, I don't see it happening in this fight.
Yeah, I mean, I was on Lopes last time out. I won a big bet last time out with Lopes, but I don't see this fight as the same, to be honest. And let's remember, Gavin Tucker likes to be on the feet a lot too. Like he's not like Pat is. Pat wants to get the fight to the ground. Like he wants to pass. He wants to smash you. He wants to do all those good things on top. So enough of that. Let's move on. Fight number 10. It is in the lightweight division. It is the 11-3-1 Matt Favola versus the 12-1 Benoit Saint Denis. And I'll kick this one off. I'm going to tell you straight up, I have Favola here at plus 200, I think, range, right? I bet him because I think this fight is very volatile. It can, I think he can knock out Saint Denis. I know a lot of people say Saint Denis can't get knocked out. A lot of people said, and I'm one of them, that I didn't think he could knock out Drew Dober. And guess what? He knocked out Drew Dober. Now, Saint Denis has been hurt. I have it in my notes here, Tim. Saint Denis has been wobbled and hurt a lot of fucking times. First of all, he's been knocked out, in my opinion.
Totally.
At 170. But we have a donkey referee that didn't think he needed to stop the fight and let this guy get his ass beat for another 2 rounds, whatever it was, right? Then you got, if you watch the 225 mark, I wrote it down too. In round number 1 against Moises, he got fucking wobbled pretty fucking bad by Moises. Then you watch the Miranda fight at 350 in round 1. Miranda wobbles him on the feet, and Miranda just fought at 145, right? He was fighting up at 55. I know Miranda has fought at 55 before. I'm just saying, Miranda's a jiu-jitsu guy, and he wobbled him in round 1 in that fight. This guy hits fucking extremely hard for Vola. And I know that when Benoit Saint Denis, he tends to stand up and strike for a while on the feet in the first round, whether it be a couple of minutes, 2 minutes, maybe when he gets hurt, he starts shooting, because that's what he did against Moises. When Moises wobbled him, he immediately shot for a takedown. Now, it's possible Favola knocks him out early, but I also think that Saint Denis is extremely strong when it comes to grappling. I'm not going to lie. I have a bet on Favola, like I said, and I do think Saint Denis is very, very strong when it comes to grappling. His sub props are very, very big for 2-3, Tim. They're 1,300 and 2,500. I do think if the fight goes on, and I know Favola has good cardio, but I also think Saint Denis has pretty good cardio. and this guy can absolutely cook you in the grappling later in fights. So I'm gonna take a stab there, man. Sub 2's 1,300, sub 3 2,500. I know they say, you know, Frivolo's a little chinny. I don't really think St. Denis' hands are all that good. I mean, his kicks are violent, but his hands are okay at best. You know, he's very open to be hit. He's very open to be countered. You don't really want to play that game, honestly, with Frivola, because we just saw him do it to what's his name?
Drew Dober, he broke.
So, yeah, I think sub 2-3 is a look here for St. Denis. I think that's like a little bit of my edge here. But I like the money line side on Frivola. I think it's a volatile fight. I think he can get knocked out. I think he can knock him out, as well as St. Denis possibly submitting him. But also, to say one thing, Frivola's takedown defense and grappling is not like a joke either. Let me just say that out there. I do think, man, this guy he looks like a bully at 55, man. He looks so strong. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No worries, man. Yeah, I think that those are going to be some small hedge bets for me that you just played. I really like that. I don't see the St. Denis KO like everybody else is on the KO and the feet. I'm with you, man. I actually got a hot take in this fight. Like, I think that if neither, like the later the fight goes, I think that the finishing upside goes to Benoit. I think early in the fight, I think the finishing upside is all on Frivola's side. Like round one, I think that that's hilarious. That's fucking hilarious.
Made that right away. That is great.
I think that the KO, you know, like the Frivola KOing Drew Dober in the way that he did, like, there's no fucking way you can tell me that he's not live to KO BSD in the first round at plus 900. 90% of Frivola's finishes are in round one. He's got a round two as well, but is only one. He has 0 round 3 finishes. So I think that Frivola, if he doesn't get him out in round one, I think the stand up is going to be, you know, closer. I think it's probably lean Frivola, but super close. And I think that the takedowns, how he did against Arman, especially early in the fight on short notice, he was doing really well in the first round. So as this fight gets to round 2, then, like you're saying, I think like the finishing potential is more not a KO, but is more of a sub 2, sub 3 situation for BSD. And then I think Matt's not finishing him in the second or third round, just in my mind. Is it possibly probably you could bonk him or something like that in round 2? Yeah, but I don't see it as much. So I have a few on this. I actually have a bunch on this one. I got KO1 plus 900. The goes to decision is simply 3-1, just as simply like that. That in itself is almost a Lambo. I think that the fight could go. Like, I think the fight could go to decision if Frivola doesn't get the knockout early, if he can stay defensively responsible on the ground, if he gets taken down a lot. Also, what's to say that fucking Frivola can't take down Benoit? He's been taken down. He got taken down by Moises, and then he fucking reversed him, and Moises was an absolute poontang at that point. So, like, but again, my point is that Moises took him down. So what's to say that Frivola can't get takedowns himself? Like, I don't think that, like, I think that this is like, everybody thinks that this is just going to be a wash and he's going to be just takedown defense. I don't see it that way. So fucking ends by split is plus 1,200, just simple ends split. You want to take shots on fighters, it's 22 and 24-1. Insane lines. Decision prop for Matt is plus 650. Decision prop for BSD is plus 550. If this fight goes, you're hitting 5 Lambos or 4 Lambos potentially. So I think that I'm going to take a other side, go on an island that this fight goes minus a bonk like from Frivola early and minus a sub and 2-3. I think that you got great lines to hedge on those, as well as the plays on if the fight goes to decision.
All right. Long breakdown for both of us on that one. We will move on. Fight number 11. It is in the strawweight division. It is the 24-12 Jessica Andrade versus the 13-3 Mackenzie Dern. Timothy, right back to you.
Oh, man. Oh, I need to shower after this fucking take. I'm going to really need to shower after this take. Here we go. So I've made thousands of dollars on Andrade fights, good and bad, fading her, butting her. Like, I've been on fire on her fights. I've lost over $1,000 on Dern fights, betting Dern, like betting her by sub in every fight and watching her not be able to sub fucking albino belts, white belts, blue belts, magenta belts, like brick belts, like every kind of belt. And the like greatest WMMA submission artist of all time can't fucking sub these girls. So to me, it's like, all right, I'm kind of torn because the defense once on the ground and the tendencies and the patterns for Andrade on the ground when she's gotten there recently have been very very much like shown a lot of lack of tenacity, lack of resilience. And so for me, it's like, yeah, I do think it is potentially one takedown or two takedowns with a minute or more to go on the clock, and she could process a sub. Most of her subs are arm bars and are working like that. She's not looking to transition them out or doesn't seem to know what a fucking sink in a rear naked choke. So to me, it's like on the feet, Andrade is shown to be like showing less and less durability. But at the same time, like, how do you look at a fight against Jan, a fight against Tatiana Suarez, and a fight against Erin Blanchfield, two who are legit gonna be fighting for a title soon, and one in Jan who's fucking tough, like striking, and she ran into a punt, like she ran in, did her 10 strike combination to try to get into range, and then got bumped. So like, I don't look at any of those fights as like a huge, oh man, she's out. Like, she took him on short notice. She was clearly taking paydays. She clearly knew she wasn't going to win these fights. I just think that this fight is a separate issue. And now you're also buying the highest price that you could fucking buy on Dern because she dismantled Hill in her last fight. So it's like extreme recency bias in this fight. So for me, I'm actually on the Andrade side. Whether or not she KOs her, I don't think she will. So it's probably going to be an Andrade by points or maybe a late finish. So KO or points for me for Andrade. I'll lean points, but I think the KO is super live too. I think she might be able to put her out if she goes ballistic.
Yeah, you know what's crazy here? At first I'm like, I heard Mackenzie Dern's interview, and she's like, yeah, you know, last fight I made a lot of money, but it all went to my divorce. You know, because Mackenzie Dern, I guess, got divorced. So she gave all that money to her ex. Then I'm listening to Andrade, and apparently the last 3 or 4 fights, all that money's been going towards the divorce. She's been paying divorce. So she said she's literally been fighting to pay, and I guess she still owes. So
don't get married, people.
So to me, it's like, oh, so now I know why she was taking all these fights on short notice. She needed the money. She had to pay this fucking her wife the money. She needed the fucking money. She was just fucking taking all these stupid fights one after another. I'm like, what's she doing, bro? Her career is spiraling downwards, getting finished in all these fights too. I'm like, what the fuck's she doing? So now, apparently she still owes money. So this fight is probably going right back to the same well. She's probably going to pay for it. More of this shit. And it's like, honestly, like, how can you overlook the trajectory of these two girls, though? Like, she looks like she's on her way out, bro. Like, I get it. She faced good people. Like, okay, she faced a great grappler. I mean, one of the best grapplers last time out. It wasn't easy. She got her out in the second round, right? She faced Janan Yan, you know, good fighter. She got, you know, even though Yan hasn't knocked out anybody in the UFC, she knocked her out in the first round. And then she faced what's her name? And Blanchfield, obviously, is really high level. She finished her in the second round. The thing is, I don't see much difference here. Like, she's fighting Mackenzie Dern now. Great grappler again. Yeah, not the best wrestler, but really high level jiu-jitsu girl that you mentioned hasn't subbed anybody, but Andrade is there to be subbed. We already know this. She gives her backup every fucking time. It's never changed. In the history of Andrade in the UFC, she's never changed with her get-ups. She just gives up her back and her neck. And it's like, choke me out. There you go. But the thing that's changed, Tim, is Mackenzie Dern's striking. Her striking is getting better. Whether anybody likes it or not, her striking has looked better. She absolutely cooked Angela Hill last time out. Who would think that? No, I don't think anybody in this chat, including myself and you, ever thought that on the feet, at range, she beat Angela Hill 2-1 in the striking at range. Knocked her down, hurt her. Nobody in here would have thought that. And she did it to Angela Hill. Like, Angela Hill is a good fucking striker. We just saw her. Like, she's hard to deal with in the striking, in the clinch, and all those things. And Mackenzie Dern absolutely whooped her ass in that fight. She looks like the trajectory is going up, Tim. Her striking's getting better. If her striking gets better, Tim, she's a very, very dangerous fighter, because when other people faced her, all they were worried about is takedown. They didn't want to get taken down. Well, guess what? If her striking is really good, it opens up the takedowns for her very easily. Because if she's cooking you on the feet, she's definitely going to cook you with a takedown and get you on the ground. So it's like, I think the trajectory of these two girls are way different, dude. And I honestly do believe Andrade is still taking fights for paychecks. She really is. She said it straight up. She's paying all these fights I've been paying for a divorce, and she still owes more money. So for me, I'm going to go with the hot take and go Mackenzie Dern KO 2-3 here at plus 850. I think she's going to cook her. I think Andrade is there to be hit on the feet. I think Andrade gets hurt on the feet. And also, I think Andrade can get pounded out on the ground, to be honest. So, I like Dern in this spot, man. I really like Dern here. I know Andrade has power on the feet, but Mackenzie Dern is tough as nails, man. We've seen it over and over. She's extremely tough.
Yeah, I think the law, if it could be similar to the Lauren Murphy fight if she's not getting takedowns. Like, she could get beat the shit out of, but she's just going to stay alive.
I disagree. I wholeheartely disagree. Watching the Hill fight, there's no way you could tell me
the difference. Here's why I disagree with that, because I think the Hill fight, Hill's weak, like so much weaker physically than Andrade is. Like, she's not super like.
Hill is very. Dude, Hill is very, very strong in the clinch, man.
She's strong in the clinch, but she was
animal to deal with.
But she's not like a she's not gonna go for takedowns. Her whole mentality in the fight against Dern was, like you said, don't get taken down by this girl. The whole time, her hands are super low. She's not, and she's overconfident going in, saying, "I can beat this girl's hands."
What's the difference with Andrade, though?
What's that? The difference, I think the difference with Andrade is that against fighters similar like to the Lauren Murphy, where it's like Lauren Murphy knew that she needed to get that fight to the ground. She was trying to get close. Every time she did, she kicked her leg, she kept her at range, and she pieced her the fuck up. Like, I just think, like, in that type of fight, I think, like, it's possible that she could take the same type of route this fight. Again, I need to shower after this take, because I do agree with you. She's shown a lot of bad signs. Like, but I just think that as well, like, this could be one of those fights where you're like, oh man, this is we forgot. We forgot, like, she's, you know, I just think minus
is probably the biggest power at 115. I can go on and say he has a lot of power.
Dern has never seen a punch and felt a punch like she's going to feel this weekend. Never in her life. So, like,
I agree. I agree with you in that sense. I agree, totally agree with that. But she, you know, she's also fought, like, you know, the chick that knocked her out, Jan, right?
Right.
She fought her.
No question.
She punched from her, and I think she got even wobbled in that fight, if I'm not mistaken.
There's the durability and tenacity and ability to fight through adversity. There's, like, no question, 10 out of 10, way better at this point in the game. Totally different trajectory. But the Jan fight, like I said, dude, she ran in face first, chin up, and threw 9 to 12 strikes in a row before getting hit. Like, it was typical Andrade. And, like, and I don't think that she might fight that way this fight, and I think it'd be stupid. I'm
saying Dern fought Jan, though.
Right, I know, and she was able to take the punches, but I'm saying, like, the difference is that she doesn't strike the same way. She doesn't go into the clinch like that. She doesn't just run in. You know what I'm saying? She tries to dive in for takedowns like that, but she doesn't run into the into range like that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I could see it, man. The trajectory for these two girls are completely polar opposites for me.
If we don't get to how many likes, we've got like I think we got a low amount of likes compared to the amount of people that are in here.
We got 191 people right now live.
I don't think we have enough likes, dude.
And 91. How many likes?
No Lambo parlays unless we get
Not
over
even 100.
Not even. I don't think even close, dude.
Oh, that's horrible, dude. 191 people. What are you guys doing out there? I see Joel typing away. Joel better have hit that like button in there. Very easy to do, guys. Just click that like button, please. Appreciate it. Thank you for all of you.
78. I love the
chat. 78. All right, we'll get there. I love the chat. They're always talking it up over there. Fucking M-Bay is blowing up the chat. We got Dixon. We got Sean. We got everybody over there. So yeah, a little bit of different takes here on this fight. We'll see what happens. Interesting fight. This whole card is pretty damn good. But we'll move on. It is the co-main event of the night. It is for the UFC Interim Heavyweight Championship. It is the 18-1 Sergey Pavlovich versus the 13-3 Tom Aspinall. This is the fight that I want to sit back, Tim. I want to have my nice Blue Label whiskey and just enjoy the fight because I don't know what's going to happen. I can't tell you what's going to happen. Yeah, anybody can knock anybody out. Aspinall might get a takedown and submit him. I don't fucking know what happens, honestly. I don't want to just play every fight because it's a fight and it's a co-main event. I have to bet on it. No, that's not how it works. But I do have to give a Lambo play. And my Lambo play is a little off-the-wall play this time, Tim. It's going to be Aspinall and Pavlovich fight ends in round 2. So just this ends in round 2. I don't know who does it. It's plus 340. The thing is, look, there's so many question mark on cardio for both guys, right? Completely. Will Aspinall get a takedown? Will he even go for a takedown? I don't know. Striking, Aspinall is definitely the better footwork, the cleaner striker, but all the power is on probably one side. I mean, Pavlovich has immense power. I mean, when he hits you, he can put you to sleep with one punch. So it's like, I really don't know how this fight's going to play out. Is Aspinall going to push a grapple heavy game plan? Is he going to stick on the outside and calf kick and leg kick and try to jab his way and then eventually mix in a takedown? Yeah, it's possible. But I honestly don't know. In his interview, I will say he said, "Do you think I'm stupid?" or something like that. You know, I don't know the exact words, but basically said, "Do you think I'm stupid? Do you think I'm going to make it a dick measuring contest with this guy?" Literally and figuratively, he's probably got me beat in both spots.
It was classic.
So it was funny as hell. But from that speech, it sounds like he's going to grapple, right? Or he meant that he's just going to box on the outside. He's going to jab and he's going to box on the outside. What I will say is, after watching tape on Aspinall, he has an extremely, extremely bad habit of pulling out of the pocket with his hands down all the fucking time. It's such a bad habit. I see it over and over and over again. And a lot of these guys that are swinging at him are missing short, but Pavlovich has that huge reach, man. You can't do that with this guy with your hands down. If he does that, I promise you, if he does that and gets hit, he's going to literally go to sleep, like completely out. So maybe he fixes that. Maybe he grapples. I don't know. I'm just going to go with round 2, man. I'm going to go where both guys respect each other. Nobody lands the big shot early. But I think as the fight goes on in round 2, somebody's going to make a mistake. They're going to tire a little bit. And then that's when the KO comes. So round 2 ends in round 2 plus 340. It's on FanDuel, I think. Nothing else on this fight. What do you got?
Yeah, man, you hit a lot of the points, so I won't echo chamber it very much. I agree, man. Anybody that has like extremely confident takes and fucking max betting these two fights, this and the main, to me, I don't see it, dude. I don't see I have a different process than that, man. I can't fucking get to a big bet on either one of these fights. I'm gonna be hoping and praying that I'm up a ton of money that I can just sit back and enjoy and throw some small stabs at some props maybe for these. But I am not pre-card fighting, or pre-card putting any money on these two fights, this and the main. So know that ahead of time. To me, it's like you said, I see it. I see it Sergey round 1, Sergey round 2 KO plus 260 plus 850. And I see insane sub lines on Tom after round 1. So sub 2 plus 1800, sub 3 plus 4,000. I don't think it hits. Obviously, I don't think it hits round 4, but sub 4 is plus 7,000. Like, I just think you get a guy that they're both tired. If it gets to round 2, you're looking at an 18-1 on what he's even telling is probably going to be his go-to path. He goes for ground and pound, and I feel like thank you. I feel like the difference is if you get like, it's hard to say like Sergey's looks the same as he did versus Overeem. Like right now, like he's made 0 improvements. It's hard to say like for sure, like he hasn't made improvements in that area, as well as the cardio is just a total fucking question on Sergey. I think that the cardio, for multiple reasons, could be advantage Sergey in this fight. I don't know it, but I think it could be. We don't know what his cardio looks like after a certain point. I know that Tom Aspinall looked like he was about to be cooked against fucking Arlovsky, So I just, to me, and he's on short notice, extremely short notice. So I think that those are factors to the cardio edge, not necessarily being totally Tom. But yeah, man, I like those lines. I like the KO 1-2 for Sergey, and I like the sub 2 and 3, maybe like a small stab at the 4.
I will say, great breakdown. I will say that when we talk about which fighter has more ways to win, it's definitely Tom Aspinall, right? Like,
right.
He can get the sub, he can get the KO, he can get a takedown. I do think he has more ways to win, but again, man, this is a volatile fight, guys.
What would you line this if Tom had a full camp? I think it's like minus 150, minus 160.
Honestly, I would still be off of it, Tim.
I would too. I wouldn't bet it.
Because honestly, even if he has a full camp, what does that tell me about his cardio? I don't know. The guy doesn't. I don't know what he's going to look like in round 2 and 3. And then when you add the variable of this guy needs to grapple, right? And he doesn't normally grapple. How much more tired is he going to be when he goes for a takedown and he doesn't fucking get it? It's not guaranteed you're going to get a takedown, right? It's not guaranteed. And you're trying to take down a 260-pound man and you fail and your cardio is already bad. I'm not willing to bet on that. Fuck that. This is a pass for me, guys. You don't need to bet on every fight. Now, if you have a read on this fight, God bless you. Go ahead. You have a great read. You think this is what's going to happen, and it's because of tape or because of this, then go right ahead. Bet it. But I honestly don't see a big edge here. I don't. So why should I just force a bet here? Because it's a co-main and it's for the interim title. I'm not touching it. I'm passing here. Tim is on fire today, says Mbaye. I like Tim's strategy. Build a night's bankroll to the point of these fights, then play lightly. Exactly, yeah. I'll do the same thing. If I'm winning, a nice winning night, I'm probably going to splash something on both of them. But it's going to be something small. With that being said, let's move on. It is the main event of the night. Again, guys, please do me one favor before we move on. Hit the like. Subscribe to the channel. It's all I'm asking for. Retweet, like, do all those things to help me grow my channel. I appreciate it. I'm at 2.2K subscribers. I don't ask for much else. That's all I'm asking for, please. And yeah, with that being said, let's move on, Tim. It is the main event of the night, and it is for the UFC Light Heavyweight Championship. It is the 29 3-1 Yuri Prochazka versus the 8-2 Alex Pereira. And this one is off to you, Tim. Go ahead, my friend.
So, as I said to start the last fight, people who got max bets on this shit and multiple unit bets on this shit, a different process than I do. Extremely volatile fight for multiple reasons. You got Yuri, time off, big layoff. Whether or not he had the surgery, I heard Magic and Gambas's podcast. I agree with Magic, man. I think it's possible he didn't have a surgery at all. It's definitely there. I just don't know. But you know, there's just a few factors that slightly lean me to the Yuri side here. You have Pereira's moving. He's not moving up in weight. He's fought there before, but it's not his second fight at this weight class. The power at this weight class is just different. He's been knocked out in the weight class below by Izzy. There you go. There you go. You're muted.
I want to show people something real quick. I'm not trying to show off anything, but I know people have been saying, "Oh, you know, you can't." Can you see might see my surgery? Because I have surgery, torn rotator cuff and torn labrum on my right shoulder. Can you see it?
No.
You can't see it. It's a small incision, guys. You cannot see that. So don't listen to what people say. If they've never had shoulder surgery, then they don't know shit what it feels like. It's a very small incision here, and here. I had 3 holes incision to repair my labrum and rotator cuff. They were both completely torn off the bone. So whatever they tell you is not, you cannot see it. What?
Get more likes. Shirt off, baby.
I'm just saying you cannot see it. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm with you.
I know he said that, oh, where's the scar? It doesn't have to be a scar, guys. It's 3 little incisions for a torn rotator cuff, labrum, and I did it in 07. You cannot see my scars. They're very tiny. You have to look really close, from very close. So, yeah, I'm going to open up OnlyFans. Let's go. No, but, I mean, that was my point, you know? I didn't take it off for OnlyFans, but, like, that's my point, bro. Like, you cannot see those incisions for shoulder surgery. But go ahead. Sorry to cut you off.
No problem. So yeah, there's a few like slight reasons why I would lean or why I would think that Yuri should be the favorite here, and or slight favorite, and or I would think that he has a better chance to win the fight. Obviously, like I'm not trying to discredit Pereira at all, dude. He's totally super fucking live to knock him out. Pereira is a more technical striker by far. Leg kicks will be there. But Yuri's just not going to give him space and time. He's going to cause chaos. He's going to absolutely bum rush him. It might take him a little time before he checks him out before he does that, but it will come eventually. And I think the durability and the ability to fight through adversity, cardio edge, younger, up the natural weight class, like there's just factors that are better, like more paths. Like there's like fucking dude subbed Glover. I know it was meme-ish, but like he fucking subbed Glover. Like this is the dude that trains, you know, Pereira how to grapple. He subbed. So, and he subbed him late. So it's like he's shown that he can fight 5 rounds. He's shown that he can go the distance. Like I feel like there are more edges, there are more paths for Yuri. But yeah, it's nothing like I'm super, super confident in the take. I feel like he's, you know, just a little bit better, has a little bit more of an edge. So that being said, I think like KO 2-3 or KO 1-2-3 is plus 260. KO 2 is plus 1,000. KO 3 is plus 1,600 for Yuri. So you can hit the 1-2-3 to get like a used Lambo with like 40,000 miles on it, and then you go to straight up Lambos at KO2 and KO3. And remember with Lambos, guys, the women that you're driving in the Lambos, they don't look at the year model and they don't look at if it's got 40,000 miles on it. So like a Lambo's a Lambo. So plus 260 is still good.
All right. Capping Service says he does have 2 small scars he noticed on the shoulder, similar. Yeah, that's what they look at. The little incisions. That's all they are. You just go in there, they repair it, and they're done. Recovery process, November of 07. I was on the force. I got back to work like May. So I still wasn't fully like 100%, but I wanted to go back to work. I was going crazy at home. So yeah, it was May, but I think fully recovered. It took about a year where I got all my strength back in my shoulder. But yeah. What else do we got here? Bitsy says, would you recommend that for someone? That's exactly what happened to me, actually. So I tore my shoulder bench pressing, and then I didn't know it. I still worked out for a month. And then at nighttime, my shoulder would pop out of place every time. Oh, I would wake up with the biggest pain and have to actually literally pop my shoulder back into place in the middle of the night. And I'm like, fuck this. What am I doing to myself? So I went seeing a doctor, did an MRI. And then they told me you have a torn rotator cuff and labrum. So Joshua Frick, thank you, my friend. Appreciating you. That's what it took to get a donation, an actual shirt off, NarcoCop shirt off to get a donation. Appreciate you, my friend. Thank you very much. Yeah. What else we got here? Shirtless Narco looked yoked. Yeah, I'm on that special sauce from Borchino. Borchino sent me those vitamins. So, yeah. What else we got here? There's so much shit now that I did that. Name your price, Narco. What is the
OnlyFans subscription? What are you charging for that, bro?
These guys are on fire today. First with the referee, now the OnlyFans. I didn't even give my take on this fight. Hold on. 194 of in here. That was funny. But yeah, I mean, this is another fight, like volatile fight, man. Like, I feel like, yeah, could it be a fake injury? Maybe. Could it be a real injury? Yes. I mean, it could be. He could have had an actually torn rotator cuff, torn labrum, got it repaired. It honestly takes about a year to get back full strength. And, this guy has been out of the ring for what? Almost a year, right? Since the canceled fight. So, yeah, I mean, the timetable is about right. That's what it was for me. It could be wrong. I don't know. Maybe he's lying. Maybe the USADA. I mean, we can make excuses all day. We don't know. The end thing is, I don't know whether he had surgery or he didn't. I'm going to take it on face value that he possibly had surgery, but I think he's fully recovered either way. I don't think it's going to matter here, to be honest. And I don't think that shoulder surgery should actually be like some big deal in this fight. What is a big deal is that both guys are finishers. Both guys are extremely dangerous on the feet. But, Tim, there's something that sticks out to me. And I don't have a side here. Again, the defense from Yuri is very bad. I don't like it. He's reliant. He's constantly been reliant on surviving and having a good chin, right? But that's against Dominic Reyes, who hurt him pretty bad. That's against, Ozdemir. That's against Glover. These guys don't hit anywhere near as hard as Alex Pereira, right? They just don't. And to think that Yuri is going to grapple is honestly, it's not smart. Because when you look at him historically, the guy just doesn't grapple, okay? Don't kid yourselves. Don't tell yourself, oh, well, this fight he's going to grapple. Well, why didn't he grapple against Ozdemir? Because he gave Ozdemir the best chance possible. Why did he decide to strike with him? I don't know. Why? Why did he decide to strike with whoever, in this regional scene when he could have grappled? The guy just doesn't grapple. Don't just guess and say that this guy is going to grapple. He's attempted one takedown in the UFC. One against Dominic Reyes. And I think that was when he was hurt and wobbled. Whatever. Like, I can't trust this guy to go for a takedown. I honestly can't. He's probably going to make it. He's not the smartest fighter, right? He's not the smartest fighter. He's probably going to make it a dick measuring contest, if you ask me. And he's probably going to try to strike and knock out Alex Pereira, which he can. Any one of these guys can knock out each other. I'm going to give out as my Lambo play, and it's a used one, like you said. It's the KO 1-2 for Alex Pereira. It's 230. And the only reason I'm giving that is because I think the defensive liability is a lot larger on one side than the other. I honestly believe that. I think the liability of defense from Yuri is a lot bigger than Alex Pereira's. Alex Pereira has his hands up. He's a little more defensively cognizant. Yeah, he got caught against Izzy, but anybody can get caught. That's fine. Yuri's just reckless, dude. He's too reckless. And yeah, he can land a big bomb, but he can also eat a big bomb. And listen, I don't care what anyone says. He's eating them against all the. If Alex Pereira lands a big bomb on him, he's going to fucking put him out. I'm telling you guys. So, it is what it is. We'll see what happens. Again, it's a volatile fight. I don't want to mess with it unless we're up big and we're like kind of with our hands back, laid back, and we're clicking buttons at that point. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to stay away most likely. It's plus 230. That's all I'm going to give here. And yeah, that wraps up all 13 fights. We've been going on for an hour 44 here, Tim. I didn't want it to go that long, but appreciate everybody in chat. We still have our Lambo parlays to give. Thank you very, very much. How many likes do we have, Tim?
110. 110.
Oh, we're over 100. We're over 100. We got to do it. All right, Tim, I'm going to knock this one out first. I got two of them, guys. I got two of them. I'm going to give you the smaller one first. The smaller one is Nazim decision, Erceg decision, Kang Ho Kang decision. It is 35-1, right? That's my decision prop. Now, the one that we're going to actually shoot for the moon, this is going to be called the Shoot for the Moon Lambo Parlay. It's going to be Emers sub 2-3 at plus 1,800 and the BSB sub 2-3 at plus 900. It's 189-1.
Oh, I like that.
You can go with him.
Much.
What?
189-1?
Yes, sir. Just for those two legs.
Fucking love that so much.
Okay. What do you got?
All right. That's funny that you went the decision way the whole time on the first one. That's what I did, buddy. So big octagon. I think we got some decision props here that I might like. I got Loopy points, Pat points, Erceg points. That gets you to like 15-1. If you want to add Gordon points, it's 32-1. And if you add Sakov points, it's 133-1.
Wait, Gordon points makes it what? 30-1?
32-1.
And then what's the last one?
I actually would start off with Loopy, Pat, and Gordon.
Yeah, I got that. But what's the last leg?
Erceg is one, and then Sakov is the fifth.
Oh, Sakov is the last one.
Yeah.
Sakov decision. It gets it to what? 100 what?
That gets it to 133-1.
Yeah, this is going to be called the PRP Lambo Parlay.
Yeah, right.
Since we had a lot of arguments about PRPs going on. Again, thank you very much to everybody. Kristen, thank you. Thank you to all the people in chat, Train and Trade. Thank you, Daz. Thank you, everybody. Joel. I mean, this show, dude, we started off, me and Tim started off with probably around 35 people, 30, 25. We're hitting almost 200 now, guys, because of you guys, because of the word you're putting out there, because of the support you're giving us. I appreciate it. I appreciate every one of you in chat. Hopefully we are giving you guys winners. Hopefully the whole point of this show is not only for entertainment purposes, but we honestly doing our best to try to give you the best props that are out there in each and every fight. And that's what we pride ourselves on doing. And this is honestly probably the very first show. I can easily say it. This is the very first show in MMA that's prop based. I've started it out as a prop based show. And there's some others that have came along, but this was the very first prop show, and we've been going on for almost 2 years now. I think 2+ years. So thank you very much again to everybody in chat. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate my co-host finally joining me here, Tim. I know you have some things going on. Go ahead, tell the chat what you have going on and anything else where they can find you.
As always, thanks for having me on again, brother. It's been really sad the last few weeks, almost dying, coming back from that shit. So I appreciate the patience there. And yeah, man, it's great to be here. So again, Sean and I are doing a spaces tomorrow at 1:00. So we'll be back doing that back to regular schedule in the next few weeks.
All right, guys. Thank you very, very much. Again, thanks to my co-host. Tomorrow, go watch that show with Timothy Troiano and Sean Orr. They do it great prior to the UFC 295 card. Also, Tim, if you can do me a favor, tomorrow I have a wedding. So can you start up a live space tomorrow? I will. Can you do that?
Yeah.
I'll tweet it out. I'll do everything so you can keep it going. I saw that there were some people that tried to do a live space while I was doing mine last week. It didn't go so well for them. But whatever, they try to take advantage of the week that I was gone. They started their own, and then they did it again last week. Like I said, it didn't work out great for them. But either way, it's just something that I do just for the people that follow me, man, and people that want to be in there, that want to make money. We killed it in live spaces again last week. We hit that huge plus money on the Denmark guy, Dalby, he came in with big numbers for us. Made a losing pre-fight card to a winning pre-fight card. So I mean, winning post-fight card. So yeah, again, thank you very much to all of you here. Yeah, I'm gonna call people out. I mean, I'm gonna call people that do stuff like that, which is kind of shady, especially when they're my friends. But of course, I'm gonna call it out. But anyways, enough of that. Thank you very much to everybody. Again, hit the like, subscribe, and let's catch those tickets for UFC 295.